want to share with you 5 of the lessons that I got from last week hanging out with John Maxwell, who is the top leadership expert in the world. I love this. When they talk about hiring new people, especially on the admin side, he said, put them on a 3 or 4 month contract, give them a project. If they nail that project, then you can hire them. So if they're doing something, and then at some point it turns out like this is not the thing we should be doing, or this is not the best thing, John's very quick to say, boom, stop that and let's move. You might know your weaknesses, but you don't know your blind spots.
What surprised you the most with meeting with John Maxwell?
So
Hey, they're here.
What's up?
Well, thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. You're really going to like what you're going to watch.
Yeah.
If you haven't liked it yet, you should really hit that subscribe button.
Like, subscribe. We're going to get Untucked, and you should probably do it with us.
And if not, we're going to get all in your inbox.
Let's go. All right, I'm excited for this, Brad. I want to share with you 5 of the lessons that I got from last week hanging out with John Maxwell, who is the top leadership expert in the world. We got to spend several hours with him. The first night I was able to sit down, he came and sit down by me. We had dinner together for 3 hours, which was incredible. And then had a whole nother day of him pouring out his wisdom. So I just want to share with you and kind of go through some of the things that were the biggest ahas that I got. One of the first ones was, man, I love this. When they talk about hiring new people, especially on the admin side, he said, put them on a 3 or 4 month contract, give them a project. If they nail that project, then you can hire them. What a cool way to handle a new hire or an operations person or a new cold call or whatever it is. Like, hey, I'm going to hire you for 90 days. Here's the thing. You get this done and then you get to come on and join us full time, get all the benefits, whatever it is. I thought that was a cool way of looking at that. I thought it was interesting.
So, I mean, obviously he's the guru of leadership. So, I mean, it must work. Because if you would have told me that and said he didn't say it, I'd be like, why would people want to do that? Right? Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah. Yes, this is his idea, not Wayne's idea. So for some reason has more weight with Brad. Yeah, for some reason. Yeah, I love that. Here's the next thing that I thought was really interesting. He talked about never get tied to ideas. And it was interesting. He was there, and then the guy that owns and runs a lot of his companies was there. And he said, one of the great things about John is he doesn't get tied to the idea. His identity doesn't get too invested in the idea. So if they're doing something, and then at some point it turns out like this is not the thing we should be doing, or this is not the best thing, John's very quick to say, boom, stop that and let's move. And I mean, that's something I've struggled with. I've seen a lot of people struggle with is like, but I put 6 months into this thing. I put a year into this thing. And it's like, but if the thing sucks, John's really good at going, all right, stop the thing. And he's fired people because he said, hey, this isn't working. Stop the thing. They kept working on the thing because they were so vested, or their identity is invested in this thing happening. And he's like, no, it's not going to be what we thought it was going to be. You know, and the quote you and I have talked about is, as a leader, you have to give yourself permission to pivot based on new information. I thought this was going to be great. Here's the feedback we're getting. Stop doing the thing and go find a new thing.
Yeah, I think 2 things I take from that is like, it's ego, right? He doesn't have ego. A lot of us, I mean, me talking from perspective, like my ego will not let me fail sometimes, or won't let me fail, even though I'm failing. And I think the other thing is too, like talking to business owners or team leaders or projects or whatever, like what does it need to be by when to be successful? So what does it need to look like in 6 months, 9 months, and a year? Are we hitting those metrics? Okay, we missed it in September. We missed the 6 month, but we picked up in 9 months. We're back on track. So like, whatever that number is, or whatever that litmus is, so that way you can tell if you're winning or losing. Because a lot of us, I don't know if I'm winning or losing. I just keep going.
Yeah. Well, and he did a great job articulating like lessons are more important than ideas. So he thought it was a great idea, but the lessons we learned were more important than this thing necessarily working or not. And, you know, and talking about, you know, growth. And this one I wrestle with a little bit, but growth is better than goals. Hitting our goal is great, but growing and learning the lessons is even more valuable. And I think when he puts his value on the lessons and growth, not just hitting some arbitrary goal, it changed those values kind of change the culture and how you go after things. So I thought that was a really interesting way to look.
I mean, it could be argued a loser came up with that statement. I'm just saying it could be. I'm just saying, but obviously not. You know, what's the old saying? Like, you can't be an expert at something unless you failed in every other possible way.
Yes.
Like, then success.
Absolutely.
So that's fun.
Yes. Which ties into number 3, which is, he said this and it really hit me. He said, there is no such thing as self-aware. And he went on to say, like, your biggest blind spot is thinking you don't have blind spots. And what he meant by that is most of us become self-aware because we read something, somebody says something, like we aren't just naturally that self-aware because we think we know what we know, right? It's like, it's what we don't know that messes us up. So just talking about how important it is to have great people around you that call you out on your stuff and continue to ask new questions, get new insights, because we're not near as self-aware as we hallucinate we are, right? And I thought that was a big one.
You remember the last E4, E5 we had, and somebody goes, I know this is one of my blind spots. And somebody else like spoke up and they go, if it's a blind spot, you can't see it, dumbass. Like, so
Correct.
You can't see your blind spots.
Yeah. You might know your weaknesses, but you don't know your blind spots. Like absolutely. Yeah. It was crazy. Yeah. And then, one of the things is he talked a lot about, and this was a little bit of your aha this last year, right? It's like, what do I need to do every day that the team is relying on, right? What's the thing that only I can do or that I must do that the team's relying on? For you, it was recruiting, right? It was making the calls. It was doing the reach outs. But it's like, am I doing the things that some of the other team members can do, or am I doing the thing that nobody else can really do that they're relying on for me? Which I thought was great. And, the other thing he talked about was the keys for him are leaders see more and they see before. And he said that multiple different ways. I thought it was such a good phrase. They see more and they see before. So when you're talking to your agents, it's like, I see more in you than you see in yourself. Yeah. I also see the train wreck or the mistake or the accident or the whatever ahead that you don't see. For your organization, do you see more than anybody else? And you see before, right? Like he's going hard into AI right now because he sees that it's coming and what's changing, right? So as a leader, am I seeing more? And am I seeing before? Which I thought was a really great phrase and great thing to think about.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard that before. And I think that's where a lot of people lose their soldiers, right? Like their team members, their agents, whatever, staff people, is because they're not acting like a leader, right? They're not, or they don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So they're not like, you know what? That looks like shit. We shouldn't do that, because they know what it's going to look like to the consumer at the end, but they're not saying it.
Yes.
And then people start challenging them for authority. So, I mean, anybody out there that feels like they're getting challenged or nobody will listen to them, it's probably because you're not worth listening to. I mean, I feel that way sometimes about myself.
Yeah. Like he said, if I'm not learning, if I'm not leading, if I don't have good ideas, if I'm not bringing stuff to the table, like, why does the team need me? Like, Correct. I've got to do my job. But what you just talked about is, he said, you can't lead if you need their...
Oi.
You can't lead if you need them to like you. That was so interesting.
I think there's a very clear, but some people don't see that, definitive line that you can be friendly and or friends, but still be the person in charge. Like you don't have, some people think my teammates or my agents or whatever, like we're all friends. We all make decisions together until all them motherfuckers drive off out your parking lot and you're stuck holding the bill, literally. Yes. So I like that. That is true. But how many times do we as humans look for approval in people we're paying? And I don't mean that in a derogatory way.
Yeah.
Like they're not beneath me, but like, I don't need their approval. I need their acceptance.
Yeah. Well, you like them more than you like results.
Yeah.
I like being liked more than I like results, which is a recipe for failure. So he said, here are the things. We talked a lot about, like firing, hiring, all that kind of stuff. He said, first off, you need to give them an environment that they can improve in. Like give them an environment where they can improve in early on, help them get a couple wins under their belt, because wins kind of give a little win. But then he went on to say, like, this is so good. Nobody grows in a dishonest relationship. How wrong of me to not tell you how to become better because I don't want to upset you. How wrong of me to not tell you how you could improve because I don't want to upset you. And he says this, he goes, respect is earned on tough ground, and I owe it to you to be my best and to be honest. And there's a lot of people that are actually just not being honest. They're actually just out of integrity under the name of, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I really like them. They're a good person. Like, you're just being dishonest.
And you're not helping them. Like, you're not helping them.
No. And somebody says, well, how do you do that? That sounds really hard. I really care about people. And this was such a good phrase. He says, it's always going to be emotional. Just don't let it be paralyzing. It's good to care. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be sad when somebody has to leave or have a tough conversation. Just don't let the emotion stop you from doing what you need to do.
Yeah. I saw a person on social. I'm not gonna bring up his name because I'm not trying to get hater mail from half the population. Like, truth is love, right? Honesty is love. Like, if you truly care, if you really say you care about somebody and they're a good person, then you owe it to them to tell them the truth, you know?
Yes.
And so like he did the example, like, hey, if your sister was going to go out of the house and had a big old bug in her nose, like, do you going to tell her? Or you don't want to hurt her feelings, or do you want to let somebody else hurt her feelings? Because if you loved her, you would tell her so she didn't get her feelings hurt. But you may hurt her feelings a little bit in the process. Like, that's been resonating with me a long time, because I'm as much confrontational as I am. I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. I don't want to make somebody think they can't make it in this business. But like, also, it's not fair to them if you're not at least giving them a heads up.
And I think one of my mentors gave me the analogy years ago of like, we've all seen somebody at some point with a booger in their nose or their zipper down, whatever, and didn't tell them. Because it was like, why didn't you tell them? I didn't want to upset them. I didn't want to embarrass them. Would they be more embarrassed by you having a 5-second conversation than pulling their zipper up, or them spending the next 3 hours at the party and nobody telling them? Like, It's not about you caring about their feelings, but you just don't want to be the person that has to say your zipper's on. You're just hoping somebody else will do the heavy lifting. Right. So it's like, get good at it. A lot of my coaching with my clients is like, okay, here's how we're going to do it well, but you've got to do it. And you don't get to hide behind, I just care about people, I just like people. No, you're hiding, you're being dishonest, and you probably just need to go learn a skill of how to do that.
Let me ask you, what surprised you the most with meeting with John Maxwell?
So my question for him was, hey, a lot of things are good in my life, right? Like, relationships are good, kids are good. There's a lot of great things. And, and I've been doing some building and rebuilding, but I feel really far behind. I feel behind, especially business-wise and financially. I feel really far behind. And he said, me too. And I'm like, holy, what? What do you mean, me too? Like, you awesome. Are the GOAT. You've written 100 books on leadership. Like, you're the guy. You know what I mean? And he goes, me too. He goes, I got lots of friends that are doing 10 times more than I did. He goes, I didn't make more than $100,000 until I was like 40 something, whatever, I can't remember all the ins and outs, but he said, I feel behind too. It's okay to feel behind. Like, it's good to have some discontent and some hunger. He said, here's the thing. And this was big for me. He said, first off, and you and I have talked about the gap and the gain. He goes, Wayne, I know where you were 4 years ago. Did you ever imagine you would be in this room today? And that, I mean, that got me, because it made me think 4 years ago, I didn't know if I could make it to next week 4 years ago. Yeah. Right. So like, that was huge for me. And then he said, here's the next big thing that helped me. He goes, if you have a success, cool, you get 24 hours to celebrate it. But yesterday really did end last night, and today really is a new day. So like, if you had a success, if you won the Super Bowl yesterday, that's awesome. Hope you had a great day, right? Today's a brand new day, right? What are you going to do today? You're going to help people, add value, and do your best. He said also with losses, if you had a loss yesterday, it's okay, right? Cry about it, lick your wounds, whatever it is. Today's a brand new day. He said, as long as you're adding value, and you're growing every day, he's like, it's going to work out. It's going to be okay. It's going to work out. Like you and I have talked about, there's always somebody doing better than you. There's always somebody that wishes they were where you are. Stop comparing yourself to them, and just wake up every new day fresh, whether I won yesterday or whether I lost yesterday. So that was really interesting conversation. He goes, I feel behind too. I was like, wow, okay, well, run your own race.
Isn't that the truth?
Yep.
Isn't that the damn truth?
Yep.
Run your own race.
Yep. Yep.
What else stuck out from that awesome experience with Mr. Maxwell?
Man, I mean, I think those were some of the biggest things that I got. I think the other thing was just, I mean, you and I talk about this all the time, but are you in the right rooms? And you and I spend a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort to get in the right rooms. And it just reminded me, like, the conversations are happening. You just need to get in the room, right? So that's why we tell people to come to E4, E5, right? Get to the masterminds, like, get there, come with the 2 or 3 things you'd love to find some answers to, but you better get in rooms with people that are at the level ahead of you that you want to get, and learn from their stuff and speed it up.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I'm glad you had a good time, man.
It's so good.
God, I wish I could have been in that room, but sounds like a fun time.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it's like, add value to people every single day. And that's kind of his mantra. Like, did I grow? Did I learn lessons? And did I add value to people today? And for him, that's his core values. And yeah, do that.
Get it from the GOAT.
Get it from the GOAT.